Kenshi and I have one thing in common. We both went into Mortal Kombat 1 completely blind. Mortal Kombat 1 is finally here, and that means we have to step in and grind to get this new platinum trophy. And with this being a new game, that means we have to go into this completely blind. There are no guides, there's no tips, there's no tutorials, there is nothing. All we have is my big ass head and some descriptions for some trophies. Although we're going into this completely blind, I went ahead and broke down our platinum trophy journey down into 4 steps. First one's going to be completing the main story and getting done with the tower trophies. Number 2 is going to be completely about the invasion mode. Number 3, of course, is where we're going to get into the big grind. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, you're not going to want to miss this because this grind is crazy. And especially if you're going for this for yourself, you're going to want to see how I did it to make this as quick as possible. Plus, there's some crazy things that happen at the end. And of course, number 4, cleaning up. There's only going to be a few trophies to clean up at the end, but there are a few that don't really relate to the grind, but they are there. There are 51 trophies inside of Mortal Kombat 1, including the platinum. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and hop into the main story of Mortal Kombat and let's get this platinum trophy. Mortal Kombat 1 is finally here. I'm super excited to get to playing it, and I'm sure, as I talked about in the intro, I'm not very good at fighting games. I've struggled a lot, not just mainly because I don't play a ton of fighting games, but I'm making it a goal by the end of this platinum journey that I am like identifiably better at the game than I was before I started. Now you're probably wondering why I never mentioned that in the intro. Well, that's because things have changed. I did not expect the grind to be as bad as it was, so we decided to completely throw that out the window. However, I do end up playing some online at the end, so you can look forward to that at least a little bit, but just be thankful I still had my sanity after I was done with this platinum. So right before we get into the story, we ended up going through the tutorial, which walks us through about how to do certain mechanics and stuff, which was very important to me to get going because I'm terrible at fighting games just in general. So I thought it was really good to kind of get the basics and the mechanics down, and we did get a trophy for that. Become a ninja in no time. Complete the basic tutorial. Went through that. I actually learned a little bit there and just about how the mechanics of the game work. So hey, we like that. First trophy down. Now let's head into the story. Now, when it comes to the story, I'm going to be very brief about it because I do not want to spoil it, especially when I'm releasing this. It's going to be a couple days after the full release of the game. I want people to enjoy the story and still be able to enjoy this video. So let's go over the basics. There is a fire god. His name is Liu Kang. He reset the entire timeline into what he deems is the perfect world. However, there were some people that have gotten in that weren't supposed to and is now infecting that world, bringing it back to his previous world that was terror and lots of murder. So now basically this whole game, he's basically trying to find out who that is and such. I know it's really brief, but trust me, you want to experience this fully for yourself. And of course, along the way, we did earn 2 story trophies, one for completing 50%, and then also for one for completing the entire story. I found out just after that if you go back and complete the final chapter twice, you're going to go ahead and get a 3rd trophy for that, getting all 3 trophies for the story. Now that we've completed the entire story, now it's time to get on to our next part, which is going to be towers. Now, right before I decided to go look and see some of the customization options that I got from playing the story, I ended up getting a trophy for changing your combat card player module. So the main goal with towers here is to get 10 different story endings, and then we'll be able to get all the rest of the trophies along the way. So we go in with a different character each time, and we're going to get a different ending for each one based on the character that we use. This part only took a couple hours, but we were able to get some miscellaneous trophies along the way. First one being Titan, which is dealing 10,000 damage to opponents. Then we also got Beaten and Broken, spill 5,000 pints of blood. Then nearly almost right after that, we got Puppet Master, which is complete a classic tower with 5 different characters. And one of the trophies early on that I was really worried about because I'm just not very good at inputting combos was perform 10 different cameo fatalities. But when I focused up, we got all 10 of them done while we were doing these towers. And with doing those fatalities, we were able to unlock working overtime, which is for completing a weekly quest. Then finally, once we got to the 10th tower that we were doing, we unlocked 2 trophies, one for using 10 different cameo characters, as well as happy endings, which is unlocking 10 tower endings. I grouped this in with step 1 because it really wasn't that much. It took maybe like an hour or two to fully complete this. It wasn't too bad at all. But now we get into the meat and potatoes of Mortal Kombat 1 Invasion. So if you've ever played Super Smash Ultimate's World of Life, that's basically what Invasion is. It's the same. It's like a tabletop style. You walk around with the character and you go and you do certain fights, endurances, as well as other kinds of mix and mashes with modifiers. It's a really cool mode. It's honestly probably, along with Super Smash, probably one of the most innovative things I've seen in a fighting game. So we start off in Invasion in Johnny Cage's mansion, which is kind of the tutorial section, which shows you all the mechanics, the shop, the forge, talismans, everything in between. And throughout this about 45-minute process, I earned 10 different trophies. It's just showing off different mechanics, using keys, talisman, completing some quests, everything in between. We earned 10 separate trophies, which then brings us on to the first actual world inside of Invasion. Now, this first world is probably where I struggled the most, just because I was getting used to the systems and the combat, as I'm still trying to improve in the game. I only have maybe 7, 8, 9 hours into the game. However, as we pushed on forward, it got easier and easier, and along the way we unlocked our first secret fight, which gave us a trophy, as well as 25 unique encounters. After about 30 minutes of different encounters, we are now facing our first mini boss, being this Kung Lao, and it actually wasn't too bad. There were other secret fights that I thought were harder, but we went ahead, we beat him, we completed it, and that unlocked us another trophy. Right after we beat Kung Lao and the mini boss, we went ahead to go to our next encounter, and we faced our first ambush. Ambushes are basically just 3 or 4 enemies. They're not very tough. They come at you almost like an endurance. You beat them, and as we beat this one, we unlocked our trophy for surviving an ambush. Now, one tip I'm going to give you guys is, if you're going for this platinum or you're just playing Invasions, is to try to do every single encounter. You're going to be able to be pushed in different directions. One may not be towards the next portal going to the next island. It may just lead you into other direction to do either towers or other encounters. Do them because it's going to help you guys level up quicker. The higher level you are, the encounters that you face will become easier and easier. Just like as when we completed it right here, we got ourselves another trophy for getting Invasion level 5. Now finally, after going through all the encounters, we have finally reached the major boss for this first island, and I'm going to tell you, it was very difficult at first. I think I failed it one time. It is very hard to get to at first. It's basically you fight against a really high health opponent that has multiple phases. So usually early on, I believe it's 3 phases, and then once you get to the final boss, it can become 4 phases. Usually there's going to be 2 fighting phases and then 1 survival phase where you have to dodge a bunch of lasers or fireballs. But in this case, we went through those 3 phases and we beat Kitana, and we unlocked another trophy for defeating a major boss. Now, once you complete the mini boss, the next place you can go to is the portal, which is where we head to go to our second island, Sundew Festival. Now, once I entered into that second island, I realized how much currency I had, so I went ahead and completed 2 other trophies. One for spending 10,000 coins at the shrine, which is basically just using the shrine 10 times because it costs 1,000 coins to use it. And then I decided to go over to the seasonal store and spend 10,000 currency there, which then unlocked me the other trophy for spending 10,000 seasonal currency on some outfits for some of my characters. So now we finally head back into Invasions, and I'll be honest with you, for the rest of it up until the final mission, it's pretty straightforward. Nothing really changes up too much, and all the trophies that we're going to acquire right now pretty much come naturally and don't require any extra steps or any extra involvement in them. You can pretty much do them anytime, anywhere. So we push through the next few Invasion maps without very much trouble, honestly getting easier and easier as we go through, as we level up. But when we do reach the final boss of the island right before the last one, go up against Johnny Cage, and I just wanted to show the end of this fight as it comes down to the absolute wire. We beat Johnny Cage with a sliver of health left, and that was the most sweatiest one yet. But after that, we finish it. Then we get to the final island, and just as every one of the mounts go, pretty straightforward. We get to the end. We face off against the Scorpion. And of course, this battle was somewhat hard. Honestly, I thought the Johnny Cage one was way more difficult, but we were able to beat him out. And that, of course, unlocks us a trophy for completing and beating a seasonal Invasions boss. So with Invasion done, I decided to take a bit of a break from kind of the bigger grinds and focus on some of the easier, quicker trophies, so that way once those are done, we can then focus on those grinds solely. So we took our talents online and got us total disrespect for taunting inside of an online match. Then we hopped in and got trophies for doing 10 different brutalities, which you can technically do the same brutality, you just have to do it on each character, which counts for a separate one. And then we also got one called Deadly Assassin, performing 20 different fatalities. That can be either your cameo or your normal roster character. Then I saw I had another trophy called Kingslayer, and I wasn't exactly sure how to get it yet, but I found someone made a video about it. Come to find out, it is in King of the Hill. You have to lose to the king, and then you go back and win, beat the king, and you'll unlock Kingslayer. And then I noticed I almost had a max rep on one of my cameo fighters, so I went in and finished him off doing some random fights, and we unlock our first cameo trophy called Buddy System for mastering a cameo fighter. And then the final two that we did before we started our big grind was going to be Thank You for Being a Fan, which is just for watching the credits, which you should always do to pay respects for all the people that went into making this game. And then finally, Eye of Tagore, which is spending a total of 1 hour inside of practice, which will at least marginally help me for when we go online. Now we finally reached the big grind of this video. The first big trophy is by getting 5 million or more score in Gateway Towers. Now, Gateway Towers are tied to Invasions as kind of a little hub that have hourly, daily, as well as weekly towers that you can do that provide you rewards like seasonal currency and even attire. Now, when I originally went into this, I thought 5 million was only going to be possible inside the seasonal tower. Now, the seasonal tower obviously resets with every season. It is an 18-floor tower, with each fight having its different modifiers, making it tougher and tougher each time, as well as different survive challenges, and then finishing it all off with a very, very difficult Test Your Might. Now, I knew if I completed this, I would get the 5 million, but it was going to take some time and some strategy. So after a few hours of grinding this out, we finally get to the last stop, Test Your Might. And well, let me just show you what happens. Try my Test Your Might strategy here. Okay, please just be in the same spot. I get 30 seconds here. Hold on. How fast is that going? It goes down pretty fast.
It's about damn time. Nope.
Let's go. Wait, what? Was he? Was I not in there? Yeah, absolutely heartbreaking. On screen, it looks like I got it, but it says I didn't. But that kind of opened up my eyes to the possibilities that there are with multipliers inside of these towers. So, for example, if you complete a tower getting all fatalities, it's going to give you a ×4 boost. So it's going to take your total score and multiply it by 4, which means obviously you can get a lot closer to 5 million. However, that can become difficult where a lot of these towers have these modifiers that do overtime damage to you and can cause you to flinch, which means you can't always perform fatalities, brutalities, or sometimes your enemy just falls dead because it's taking damage. So I had to find the perfect tower that was going to allow me to do this. So me literally standing over at the hourly towers waiting for the right opportunity, I find a good tower and we hop in. Now my goal is to get every single tower to get a fatality and try to be flawless, because if I do, I can get up to a ×7 multiplier. So we push through this tower and we get to the end and I get 4.997 million. Another depressing run, and I'm starting to doubt myself. Even though I was so close, I'm starting to doubt that I can even do it. But we keep pushing along, and we get to another situation again where we have the perfect tower, and we do it. We clear it easily, unlocking us the trophy for getting 5 million in Gateway Towers. Now comes probably the most annoying part of this whole trophy grind, and that is to play 5 Combat League matches. Now these are basically best of 3s where you have to win 3 rounds online against an opponent. The issue is I ran into so many times that it would just freeze, or matches wouldn't count, or my opponent would leave early, and it just caused so many issues. I was gonna make this a big part of the video, showing my progress from beginning to end, showing how much I improved, but honestly there were so many issues, and just on top of a bunch of other stuff, I really didn't have a good time and I really didn't see it work. I ended up playing like 15 matches, and then finally I get the trophy for playing 5 Combat League matches. Now comes where the long grind comes in. So you remember earlier when we unlocked buddy system? Well, now we have to get 4 more so we can get the next trophy, which is for getting 5 cameo fighters. I was able to find something, and this seems to be the way everyone is doing it now, is inside of invasions there are certain types of encounters where you face up against 3 opponents. Now these opponents generally take more damage. You can, if you load up your build to have max attack, you can 1 or 2 shot every single one of them. So I'm 1 or 2 shotting every single one of my opponents and making sure that I get a flawless brutality every single time. That way I can maximize my cameo XP. Now each one of these took me between 2 to 3 hours for each cameo fighter. After about 9, 10, maybe even 11 hours of just grinding this, we finally unlocked the trophy for mastering 5 cameo fighters.
75 years later.
Now, a month after launch, everything you saw before this video was already edited prior, usually like a week or so after. However, there's one trophy that has still eluded to me to this day, and that is the Mighty Have Fallen trophy. Now, the issue is that no one is able to obtain it yet. For some reason, it's locked behind some kind of seasonal content, hasn't been released. There are rumors that it will come out with season 2, which isn't supposed to start till November, but that isn't guaranteed. Now I had to make a decision for myself. Do I go ahead and upload this video that I've been sitting on for a month, or do I wait another couple weeks, could be even longer, till this final trophy out so I can get this platinum out? And I thought, this one trophy doesn't define the rest of this video and how fun, how agitating, and everything else in between. So if you're mad that I didn't get the full platinum right this second, I apologize. However, when I do get the platinum, I will let you guys know about it, whether if I make a YouTube short or I post about it. There will be something to show that I did get the platinum for this, because I worked really hard for it, and I want to be sure to show you guys. But for right now, we are still 1 trophy away. I'm going to do my best to make sure that this doesn't happen again, because I hate it. I feel like I didn't accomplish what I came to do, but I literally have no choice. So if you guys did enjoy the video up until this point, hey, feel free to drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new. We're coming out with platinum videos as fast as I possibly can. I'm having so much fun doing these. So let me know in the comment section what platinums you guys want to see me do next. We got lots on the docket, so any more that we can add in there, I might squeeze them in, or we might just completely just do it as the next one. So let me know. I appreciate you guys for watching as always, and I'll see you guys again in another video. Peace.